Hey, hun, a friend of mine came over, showed me a copy of his family tree.
No way, cool.
Yeah, I gave him some of our seeds, told him start again.
Hi, and welcome to Suburban Life Permaculture. We're so glad you're here today. I'm Holly, and today we're going to make seed bombs, also known as seed balls. We're going to do it 3 different ways. We're going to use a flour recipe, we're going to use a clay powder recipe, and we're going to use just a clay. This is just happens to be a pottery clay. It's terracotta, and a recipe with that. There are a couple reasons why you might want to make a seed ball or seed bomb. The reason why we're going to do this is our drain field. We had a new one put in last year, and I reseeded it. I thought this is a perfect time. We're going to reseed it. I have this clover and these lovely seeds that I wanted to create kind of this drain field meadow, right? Get all kinds of pollinators coming. Didn't work. The birds ate the seeds. So this hopefully will keep them from being able to do that. Other reasons might be this is a way to seed an area that's difficult for you to get to. The one thing that you want to keep in mind is only seed bomb your own property or people who give you permission to seed bomb their property. For each recipe, and I'll put each of the recipes in the description below, for each of them, you're going to need a binder. So these are 3 different binders for the 3 different recipes. You need some sort of soil. I have worm castings because you don't really need to sift that. And I'm being lazy today because it's too cold outside to sift compost. But you can use topsoil, you can use your dirt in your yard, whatever you want to use as that soil. You want to have something with some nutrients in it if you can, maybe your soil mix that you make yourself. The big thing is you want it to be sifted or well sifted. That's why this, the worm castings I'm going to use, super nutritious, and it should already be sifted. The other thing they all have in common, you need seeds. What do they have that's different? This, the pottery clay, it is already moist enough that I don't really need to add water to this. The other 2, we're just going to add enough water so that that'll stick together and create a ball. The first seed bomb or seed ball that we're going to create is the one with the potter's clay. And first step is just flattening it out. And I'm going to flatten it out a little bit more. And then, oh, by the way, the seeds that we're going to put in this is Japanese white dandelion. So what you're going to do first, so nice and flat, pancake or thinner than a pancake. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a little bit of your soil, you put it in the center there, and then you make sure you put some seeds in here. And then kind of fold it up a little like a taco. And I know some of it's coming out, and that's okay. At first, it's going to be a little rough because it's going to want to break apart and leak out all your soil, right? And that's okay. We'll pick it up in a little bit. So once it starts becoming, it's kind of almost like you're kneading flour for anybody who has made bread or made flaky pie crust, right? You're folding it in on itself as you incorporate everything. So once you start feeling like, okay, it's more incorporated, the soil's not going to keep falling out, then that's when I start picking up the stuff that fell out. And then you fold in on itself, fold, fold, and that's just incorporating. All right. And then it feels like that part that I collected is in here. Collect some more. All right, fold it in. I have plenty of seeds, so I'm not going to pick up any more seeds. And then roll it up into roll it up into a ball, just like this. And then you're going to let that air dry, and then you can go ahead and place or toss your seed bomb. So the next one we're going to do is the clay powder method. And the recipe is 3 parts of the clay powder and 5 parts of the soil and seeds. So 1 part of seeds. I'm going to go ahead and normally I would use probably a lot more, but it's just me today making these clay balls. Now the clay powder method, I cannot pronounce his last name. I'll attempt to. Fukuoka? We're going to go with that. So this method has been around for almost 100 years. So right now I'm just going to mix up a little bit the dry ingredients. And then we're going to add our seeds. And again, it does not have to be precise. So I'm going to grab some seeds. Ooh, let's do some dahlias and nasturtium. And remember, we don't want 1 part of the seeds. So nasturtiums are kind of big, the seeds, but I think they'll still work. All right, so now I'm just going to stir it up just a little bit. Now, I'm just going to put a little bit of water, because you want just enough water. Set that like that it starts to form balls. Okay, I'm sorry for the sound, because that's going to be loud. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Now, I did see this roll method before. Probably better than use this again just to get the dirt and stuff off of it. Oh, hey, nasturtium seed. Playing in the mud, playing in the mud. All right. Supposed to make the balls just by if you don't make a mess. Oh, this is making a little bit of a mess. That's all right. We can clean them later. All right. And it is kind of making balls. See, like here's a ball right here. It's a little gooey. So I'm going to just roll it around a little bit. Make sure I pick up a seed or two. For sowing seeds of kindness and positivity, think of a way that you can build your community with these seed bombs. Would it be inviting your community over to have a seed bomb party? Would it be gifting seed bombs to your community? And your community can be your neighbors, it could be your family and friends, it could be your co-workers, and of course we all have several different communities, right? How could you go ahead and sow this seed of kindness? So if you see, they're actually making balls in here. Here, like this one. It's a little bit, probably more damp than I should, because I can't really roll it. So once I have this ball, I think I got a little bit too happy with the water. I'm going to add some more of this soil to it and clay. And I'm just kind of, just like I did with the clay balls, is kind of mush it into each other. I gotta say, I kind of like, just because it was cleaner with the other stuff, but I say use what you got, what's easy to get, because some people, they have clay soil that they could use. I had to buy some, not that expensive, but I had to buy some. But I say, whatever works for you. And here are the clay powder ones. Same thing, you let them sit out to dry, and you put them where you want to have these grow. You don't have to step on them like we're going to on the drain field, especially if you're trying to seed bomb somewhere that you can't reach. That's just what we're going to do so that they're a little bit further, deeper in the soil. Not so they're covered, just so that they kind of are maybe about halfway down. Now, one thing that I noticed when I made these, they're a little bit more brittle, meaning they would fall apart easier. So I think these might wash away and wash down easier than, let's say, the actual pottery clay would. The last one is flour, and I found a couple of different recipes out there for it. Honestly, it feels like there's really not a major must-have when it comes to these recipes. So I'm just going to wing it. One of the recipes seems like it's 1 part to 3 parts. The other is 10 parts to 1 part. So I went ahead and just did 1 part to 3 parts. Maybe I'll put one more in there, kind of get a little bit in between there. Had some heaping ones in there, so I don't think it's going to be a big deal, to be honest. So right now I'm just mixing up the flour and the compost, or the worm castings. And now I'm going to put in my seeds. I have, this time, some Hopi Black Dye sunflowers and some bachelor buttons, Blue Boy variety. And it might be better to have seeds that are about the same size. Those are a little bit different in size. Honestly, I don't think it matters. So you can see some of it is trying to make balls already from the moisture that's in the worm castings. I don't know if you can see it, but it's already starting. So I'm going to get a little bit of water. It seemed like it was really watery last time. All right. And these, again, like the powdered clay, feels like it will break apart easier. I mean, it's in a ball, and that's the goal. So those might wash away easier than the clay, but the clay was really super easy to incorporate, and it felt like it was cleaner. I washed my hands from the clay powder. That's why it's cleaner. But like I said before, if you can't get dirty doing this, when can you get dirty? Go ahead and put them on our new drain field. And I wanted to describe them a little bit. So they're all dry. Yeah, see? This is the clay, so the wet clay, potter's clay. I made 2 bigger ones and 2 little ones. And we have flags out here so we can kind of keep an eye on how they do. And I'm going to just set them out kind of randomly. Let's see, I want them a little bit further out. So I'm not sure how wide these seeds are going to get. So I'm just going to step on them a little bit. And I'll put one over here. So I can still see them. I don't know if you can see them, but I can still see them, but they're kind of pushed in a little bit, right? Now, these were the clay powder. So this is what these look like. They're much lighter and feel like they would probably break easier. So I'm thinking they might break down a lot faster. All right, so let's see here. These I'm not going to step on unless I have to, because I'm thinking they might bust up. I mean, not that it matters, right? The big thing is we just want to protect them from the birds. I don't want them coming over and say, ooh, snacks. And the last ones, if you remember, are the flower ones. So we made 4 of these. And so these already are starting to break apart. Not that that's a bad thing, right? We do want them to break down and eventually break apart, but we want to do it in a way that the birds are less likely to tear them apart before they have a chance to germinate. So I'm going to put those back here. So we got 4. Oh yeah, that one I pressed gentle and it went right in. So yeah, this one, yeah. I think I'm just going to lay these 2. So we've got 2 that I pressed down, and they're just like these lumps of dirt now, and flour, of course. So they're just gonna, the top 2 or the front 2 are still in ball form, and these they broke apart super duper easy. Not saying it's a bad thing, we'll see. So we're gonna experiment with that just a little bit. Have you ever made one of these recipes? Or have you made a different type of recipe for the seed bomb or seed balls, depending on how you refer to them? And I don't care if you like, subscribe, or share. You do you. Carpe diem, y'all.